Hi, my name is Chef Johnston. I'm one of the instructors at the Art Institute of Washington. Today I will be demoing a fabrication of a rack of lamb. I'm also going to go through and talk about the advantages of American lamb, the classes of American lamb, grades, also the primal cuts, and then a few points about different cooking methods. What I'm going to start out with from the beginning is, number one, American lamb, you want to make sure that it is USDA inspected, and this right here has the stamp on it. Pretty much all USDA meats that are inspected will have the official stamp on it. What I've done here already is I've already butchered up some and Frenched some lamb chops here, which I've cut into singles. We also have doubles. Then I've got a complete rack here, and I'm also going to go through and do a little demonstration on how to remove this membrane off the bone. On top of that, I'm also going to go through and break down a rack of lamb and talk about the different cuts and the procedure for getting this done here. What I have here also is the chine bone has been removed here. Typically when you do this, if you have a bandsaw, or you could actually even use a hacksaw if you wanted to, this is actually connected here. And what you have to do is you have to remove this piece of the bone off of the lamb here. You don't want to come in and cut into the loin here, because this is where all the good meat is. You want to leave that intact. Okay? Once you get these in and you order them from your purveyor, and to clean this is remove the blade, or the shoulder blade here. And then also you're going to have some feather bones, which have also been removed here, and sometimes they're intact when you get these in. The feather bones have also been removed on this also. Right here you have the blade, and typically you want to use a boning knife to do this. I do have a couple of different types of knives here. I have one that we call a scimitar, which I use in a steakhouse scenario, which is very long, but you always want to make sure that when you're doing this, cut away from yourself. I'm going to take the boning knife, I'm going to go inside here, and I'm going to remove this blade. Okay. Cut that down, and you can save any of the fat or the scraps for any other processing that you can do with your byproduct. Okay, so once that blade's off, what you want to do here is remove the rest of the cap and this rib, the top of the cap here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I like to use a bigger knife to actually come down and cut this off here. I'm going to score it, and then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go all the way against the bone, and you want to trim this all the way against the bone here to remove this fat. Okay? You can just peel this back. I like using a larger knife on that just to get the fat off, because it comes out in a larger piece. Now once I do that, I'll switch back to my boning knife. Now, some fat is good. You want to leave a little bit of the fat on here to also insulate the meat when you go to cook it. You don't want to completely trim this down all the way down to the loin, because some fat is good for flavor, and it also insulates the meat. It gives it a little bit of protection. Okay? And also remember, you also want to always cut away from yourself. Okay? Put your hand on here. I normally put my hand in front of the knife and cut away like this. Okay? Take a little bit of this cap off the top. Okay. If you could just discard this for me, please. Put this either in the Ziploc or another one. We'll save that, render something out of that, or either make a stock with the bones. Now what you have here is basically this cap's removed, okay, and I've scored this. I'm going to clean this up just a little bit right here. Trim off a little more of the fat off of this right here. Okay, clean these off a little bit. And I'm also going to come in here and remove a little more of this fat on this end. Okay? You want to leave a little bit of twine. Tie this around really tight here. Okay? Grab yourself some, either a rag or a side towel, so you can get a good grip on this. And then what you do is you pull that off, and what that does is that literally just cleans all this bone off, and you have a clean cut bone, which looks nice for presentation.